The Short Take with Alex and Jake.
Hello and welcome to The Short Take, the podcast where we talk about all things short films, apart from when we don't. I'm your host Jake, and with me, as ever, is my co-host Alex.
That's me.
That is you. How are you doing this week?
Sweaty.
Yeah, well, I'm doing fucking awful this week.
I didn't ask.
I'm telling you anyway.
No, I don't want to know.
Yeah. You can probably tell that I'm recovering from a cold. I think my voice is a bit off.
I don't care.
I do.
No.
It's really fucking hard,
I'll
isn't
get you
it?
to cut this out.
You can't force me to do anything.
I can.
This week is my pick because my previous episode got deleted.
Yay!
Woo!
And
Only
we're
the
all
third one
better
of the
for
season.
it. We're all the better for it.
Oh god, I'm so glad we're at the end,
What?
so we don't have to
What
deal
did
with
you
this
pick?
anymore. So I picked a film called A Piece of Me Is Missing.
Okay.
The synopsis of which reads: two friends enjoy a fun day together, but unbeknownst to one, the other is suicidal.
Uh-oh.
This is a film directed by Jacob McLean.
Yeah.
I think it's his third film.
Oh, okay.
It came out late last year, so it's quite recent.
Okay.
But I would say that he's probably still quite young and new to this.
Yeah. Last year it came out.
November 19th, 2022.
Okay.
So almost a full
It was
year
like
ago.
November 1992 or something. I was like, that's not last year.
What do you think the actual story was, though? Beyond the synopsis.
You're asking the audience. Okay, so the film starts with us hearing narration
Mm-hmm.
and it's reading a suicide note. And we then watch scenes from this guy's life in which he's just having a nice fun day with his friend, but like in the note he's like, I may have seemed all happy, but joke's on you. He say like that, but essentially
I think he should have said it like that.
he should have said like that. And then at the end it's like, oh, we're building up to when he's gonna kill himself. And then he goes to his friend's house and plot twist, it was actually his friend's who's committed suicide, and it was his note, and he was reading it aloud, and it ends with him being all on his own. And a piece of him is missing, arguably.
His life.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what the film's about.
Yeah.
Do you want to start with some good? You said you have a lot to talk about in this film.
Yeah.
Do you know which section we're going to be loading up?
Okay, so here's the thing. Before I get into good or bad, I think this is the most I've come around to a film we've watched.
That's really interesting.
The beginning of this film, I hated.
Yep.
I was so angry with watching it. It's so hot. I walked all the way here, and I was thinking to myself, I can't believe Jake's making me watch this. The ending actually brought it back for me. So
Okay.
I guess I'll start with the good of that. I think structurally, like conceptually structurally,
Mm-hmm.
this is a good idea. And I think while it's maybe not executed very well, I think generally speaking, it is a good idea.
Okay.
I don't know if it's necessarily original. I feel like I've seen stuff like it. I don't know if there's a specific thing it's copying. Maybe there is and I just haven't seen it. But I think from a narrative point of view, I actually think it works for the most part.
Yeah.
I think it's the details where it fucks up. But like the general concept is, I think, pretty strong for what it is.
Yeah, I don't disagree. I think you've got a solid point there. I think that the overall story is a bit off in certain places. I guess I'll come to that in the bad. I think the music was quite solid in certain parts of it.
They just used like a good song
Yeah.
in the middle.
Artless was just like an artless song, so like
Yeah, I
just
dunno.
royalty free stuff. I thought it was okay. I thought it
Yeah.
like I think the other songs they picked as well kind of fit. I feel like this does come under nitpicks, but in like a indifferent way. But it feels like a documentary to
Yeah,
me.
100%. I thought the beginning was.
Yeah, and it's like handheld. It's really kind of grainy, normal film.
It feels like they're
look.
trying to do Clerks.
I've not seen Clerks.
Well, if you've seen Clerks, which somebody listening must have, Clerks is very famously low budget indie filmmaking in which it's kind of just filmed on the spot almost. It feels like for its time it was very original.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really cool. I think they're trying to do something like that.
Okay.
I don't think it entirely works.
Yeah.
There are definitely moments it does.
Yeah.
I'll say that.
Okay. Yeah. One thing I did actually really like, which I've just remembered, I have other problems with the dialogue, but I think the like kind of the fast-paced kind of natural witty take to dialogue is always very interesting, and getting that right, it can be really hard. Like merging the written dialogue with what the actors can and want to do with it. I think that's they achieved quite a nice vibe with it to their friendship and everything. I think they have other problems with it, but I think it does work on that level.
Okay, I don't know if I entirely agree with that.
Okay.
I want to talk about that in the bad.
Okay.
I don't know if I have anything else good to say.
No?
I think the message of the film's nice. And I think its heart's in the right place.
I think I disagree.
Interesting.
Well, I don't think it's bad, but I think it's wrong.
You don't think we should check up on our happiest friends?
No, I don't. No.
No.
I think my I think is this the last good?
Go on.
I think the camera operator roughly knew where to point the camera when they were doing the handheld shots.
That's not a good. Rephrase that as a bad.
Yeah, I guess. But like the scene where they're like dancing around and stuff, I think it kind of they're pointing it roughly where they should be pointing it.
No, I disagree.
Yeah, okay. Is this the shortest good section we've ever done?
I don't think it's the shortest. Okay.
Are we going on bad?
No, let me just like clarify this. I think narratively they come up with a good idea. They came up with a decent idea for a structure for it, which I actually think is quite hard, and I think they did a good job with that. Like they actually, if you break down the pieces of the film, like the puzzle pieces almost, I think it actually works. Like conceptually, the way they reuse shots at the beginning and the end is clever and like actually good directing.
Of the basketball stuff.
Yeah, like the shot of him where he sat down in the original, it's a 2 shot, and this one's a 1. The very end shot of him walking up. I do think all that stuff's really, really well done, and isn't easy stuff to like know to do. Again, I think conceptually, narratively, rather than the actual script, I think is a good idea, and yeah, the pieces putting together are clever.
Mm-hmm.
Outside of that, I think that's about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I think I disagree on a lot of that, unfortunately.
Very interesting.
Yeah. I think it's like not a bad idea.
I think this is a good idea.
Yeah.
Like it's not my favourite idea I've ever heard, but it's a good idea.
I think it's one of those ones that you kind of come up with and then you're like, no, there's something better.
I don't know.
It's not got anything. Do we want to go on to bad?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Do you want to go first?
Yeah. None of the dialogue's good.
I think
it makes the film worse.
None of the dialogue has any substance.
No, this is the problem, because this is why I disagreed with you just now. I think they're doing this thing where they're just improvising dialogue.
Yeah.
But the concept of the film is so condensed in what this film is that really every single line has to matter.
Yeah, you have to build up so many things so quickly.
It just felt like watching clips from someone's mobile phone of them fucking around with their friend. Like, I don't care.
Yeah.
Like, I really don't give a shit.
If I was editing this film, I would probably cut 95% of it and say, go and do more.
Yeah.
Because it just doesn't work.
No, they're missing dialogue, like proper dialogue.
They're missing everything, man.
No, it's like, again, I think conceptually, each scene is good. Like, if you just gave me a card that said scene where two friends play basketball, scene where two friends hang out and dance together, scene where we make it look like he's writing a suicide note, but he's actually not, and then he finds his dead friend. This like weird 3 acts they have, and then in between each one having these like pieces of narration that make it seem like we're seeing something really tragic happen is a good idea, and I think structurally works as like a piece. I think the problem is within each of these scenes nothing's happening, so they are just like, they're not even the original pieces of card that just say this scene is blank. It's like they are nothing scenes because of how bad the dialogue is.
Yeah.
That's what's bad about this film.
Yeah, there's nothing extra in these scenes at all. The base, if you look at like what the film is, right? A film about suicide. The beat that they're going with is oh, it's actually the other guy.
Yeah.
Right? That's
the twist.
That's the twist. That's the whole film.
Yeah.
You're working towards that twist. And personally, I think you shouldn't have done that. I think suicide is like a really tricky subject to work
I can
around.
understand that. I think the thing is, the concept of their film, you have to break it down by their message at the end of the film, which is the idea was we're meant to think it's one person.
Yeah, you never
And,
know who
like-
it's going to be kind of thing.
Yeah, but the film makes you believe it's one person.
Yeah, and it does nothing
But
to
it doesn't tell you it's that person. It's just them narrating.
Yeah, because they never call each other by their names
No,
at
exactly.
any point. The only named information you get is from the letter.
Yeah.
And, you know, the main guy is called Jeff, and the guy who actually dies is called Ross.
Yeah, and I think it's a clever trick to make you not even consider the idea it's the other guy,
Mm-hmm.
which in turn puts you in the same position as the main guy, which is that by the end of the film you're like, oh shit, it's him.
Yeah.
And he was so happy.
Yeah.
Ba-ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba. The problem was I didn't care about him.
You didn't care about either of them.
No, but that's what I'm saying. So this is
Yeah.
where the problem lies. I think, again, conceptually, it's good.
Yeah.
And I think you could make this a good film. And I do get, like, suicide's obviously a very touchy subject. And I think it's not something to just, like, do in a film.
Just give it a stab.
You just give it a stab. I do think, though, the idea of their message, their heart's in the right place with it. Because I think there is something to the idea of it's like, oh, the happiest people are the saddest people.
Yes,
all
I
this
can
sort of
100%
stuff.
agree
I
with
think
that.
that's interesting. And I think the idea of what they're trying to do, which is to make you consider that by tricking you, sort
Yeah.
of thing, I think that works technically.
Okay.
They just didn't do it well. I think is the problem.
Yeah. Yeah, I think one of my biggest issues with this is that the suicide letter itself is way too well thought out from
Yeah.
like it's not character, it's just exposition. It's just like, oh, my mum and dad love me and they're really successful. My friend loves me and he's really successful. All my like whatever, like, you know, I have such a good
My
life
life's
and
great.
my life's great, but I'm gonna kill myself.
I didn't like the fact that like nothing came of either of their parents like being in it or seeing them or something. Because it felt like that was weird that he made such a point about the parents.
I have one of my biggest notes is the relationship between the two friends
Yeah.
is the central crux of this film.
Yeah, there's a
Why are
whole
you
bit
mentioning
talking.
anything else?
I mean, if you were at a suicide, you probably would mention your parents.
You would, but it's like for the concept of this film,
Yeah, I know.
they're not important.
Yeah, I think.
And you can introduce those elements through a different lens, right?
Yeah.
So they're at the basketball, and the guy who's at law school is complaining, and he's like, "Oh, you know, my parents are all over me."
This is where the film doesn't have dialogue.
Yeah, exactly.
And this is where it should have dialogue. And this is where at the beginning of the film I was like, this is bad. And then as it went on, I was like, okay, I see what they're trying to do. Didn't work, but I appreciate it.
Okay.
Outside of the dialogue not existing, there's also zero lighting in some scenes.
Oh god, the lighting is so bad, especially the dancing scene.
I hate. Okay.
Because it very visibly transitions from an area where there is light to an
Yeah.
area where there is no light, and you just stop being able to see what's going on.
I don't know if this is fair to say about the camera operator DP guy. Because maybe this is just down to the director. I don't know if they were the same person or they different
I
people.
do not know.
This is horribly made. I hate the way this has been filmed. They're not... It feels like they've picked up cameras and started filming.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, it feels like you're watching a video of somebody and their friends on your friend's phone.
It's like one of those. I can't remember the guy's name, but who did Amy and Senna. You know, the documentary guy, but he like pulls all found footage.
I know what you mean.
I can't remember his name, but it feels like it's trying to be
Yeah,
like that. Maybe.
I don't know. I hated it. I thought it looked stupid. I thought it took away from a good idea.
Mm-hmm.
And I think at the end of the day, it just looked bad. Like that.
Yeah.
Near the end, he starts to use actual shots, but before that, they're like, it doesn't make any sense. The shot of the two of them, as much as I like the idea of reusing the shot at the end where it's just one of them, that shot of the two of them sitting down, it looks like it's like an interview because of the way they're positioned.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
like,
100%.
what
it does.
is this film?
Yeah.
Like, it's bizarre. I don't know.
In that scene as well, the audio is so bad.
Yeah, I don't
he
know what
peaks
the
the
fuck he's-
audio
I don't know
so
what
many
he's saying
times.
at all. The
Yeah.
guy with glasses.
It sounds awful.
So bad.
Yeah, it really doesn't. Like, so many of the technical elements are just not fitting together, and it's like really pulling down the overall like perception of the film.
Yeah.
It's just you know, you for a film with arguably like a half decent message,
Yeah.
it's like you have to get everything else right. Otherwise, people don't walk away with the message. They walk away with, that didn't look quite right. That didn't sound quite right.
Yeah.
Which is a shame.
It's annoying, but oh well.
It was an interesting move to play the entirety of that song.
Yeah. It just kept going.
It just kept going.
And I was like, I really don't give a shit.
I really thought they'd cut away at some point, and they just
They
didn't.
did not at all.
No, and it kept going.
They also
and
both
then
did the dance from Fresh Prince wrong, which was just annoying. Like,
and there's the moment where it kind of like cuts out for a second and then comes back, and he like leans back and he's like kind of shouting into it, and I'm like, oh god, they're gonna carry on.
Yeah.
But then it does fade away.
thank God.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was bad.
I think a lot of the cutaways to the Suicide Note stuff were very jarring at certain points. I think that they didn't flow at all. It kind of was just like, okay, we're done now and we're going to talk about this. It didn't feel natural.
Yeah.
Do you have anything else?
I have one thing in nitpick. I don't really have anything else in bad other than the film.
Yeah, should we move on to nitpicks then?
Okay, what's your nitpick?
You go first.
I've only got one.
I don't know if I have any. My one is kind of why play the whole song.
Mine is the font of the title.
Oh yeah?
It's just it's so bad. It's just like, it looks like Arial. Like, I'm like, what is this? What?
Probably was Ariel.
Oh, stop. Do we know? See, this was made a year ago.
Roughly, yeah.
Has the guy made any films since this?
Let me have a quick look. I think this is I don't think so.
So curious.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure he's not made anything else. And I mean, this film, he's only got 3 videos. This is the most recent one.
Okay.
He only has 12 subscribers, and this film only has 112 views. I think probably 3 or 4 of those are me.
I'm not one of them. I don't know what to say to this guy.
I mean,
Like, okay, here's the thing. As I said before, conceptually, this is a good idea. I think the issue maybe is that it's insanely rushed.
yeah, it could just be that.
It
yeah.
wasn't enough effort put into doing it.
Yeah.
I think that's a shame, and I think maybe try and do this whole film again, but actually write a proper script, write proper dialogue.
Yeah. Do you reckon all of it was improv, apart from the script?
Note, other than the note.
Sorry,
I would say,
the note, yeah,
100%.
Yeah?
Just because of how long the takes were as well.
Yes, very true.
Um,
Yeah, I think it's just... It feels like someone who thinks they can just jump into filmmaking and do it right the first time.
but here's the thing. They made this film. And as we always say, making a film is a feat in itself.
Yeah, it's the
I
first
don't know
step.
if we say that like that, but we say that general sentiment.
Yeah, no, it's, it's more effort than a lot of people have put in.
100%.
Because a lot of people think of ideas and then do nothing with it.
Yeah.
So you've at least got to the point where you've uploaded something and made it, it
Yeah.
exists.
And again, conceptually, good. I will say as well, even though there are scenes where it's just really long takes and it's just the camera following them around, there are also actual shots in this and actual uses of editing to use the shots effectively.
Mm-hmm.
And that's good. That's impressive. I would argue it's well edited for what it is, other than the really long takes existing.
Yeah.
Like, but I would say that's maybe more of a thing of just the overall story of whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
I just think it's a shame because it seems a bit rushed, and I think maybe if they had stopped and like, I don't know, but then maybe they're better off making it. Maybe they're better off just getting it out there, and it's like, well, we did this, and we can look at it and go, oh, maybe we should have done this different. Or
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
no, it's an iterative process getting better at filmmaking.
Exactly.
And, there's a lot that you can take away from this film.
Yeah.
Maybe just pick one thing and be like, okay, we'll improve that next time.
Yeah.
And then do the same again the next time, and again and again and again, and then
Yeah.
you'll get good. And that's how it works, unfortunately.
Exactly.
It takes a lot of time.
It does.
I wouldn't say I'm there either, I've got a
No,
long way
definitely
to go.
both of us.
Yeah.
But that's why this podcast is great, because we get to look at everyone else's mistakes and act like we wouldn't make them.
Yes.
And
Act
it's sort of
superior and aloof.
Ooh, How many short takes would you give this out of 10? That's what we always do every episode.
This is what we always do. I
Yeah.
quite like this. No, the thing that we've been doing the whole time.
You only just realised you liked it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I would give this 4.5 short takes
Out of 5?
out of whatever.
You give... Hang on. What? All of the negative stuff you said is worth half of short take, but all of the positive stuff you said is worth 4.5 short takes.
I didn't say it was out of 5. You said it was out of 10.
I said out of 5.
No, you said out of 10, didn't you?
Listen to the recording. Listen to the recording.
I'm gonna like edit you
No!
saying 10 thousands of times.
I refuse to say it. I'm not going to say that number. You can't trick me into saying it.
How many short takes would you give this out of a number?
I think I'd give it 10. No! I'd give it like 2.5 for the effort.
Yeah?
For what it is, conceptually, I think there's some stuff going on.
I think mine's 4.5 out of 100. Short takes.
Jesus.
There's a very
Precise
scoring system. You have to hit very specific criteria. It's like a job interview. You have to do certain things.
What's your favourite film, do you think, so far? Out of all the ones we've watched.
Out of all the ones. What are we on? Episode 18?
Yeah. Actually, no, let's go for the last season. How many short takes would you give to Tickle Monster?
I don't know, like 92?
Out of 100?
Yeah.
92?
Yeah.
It's 100. Obviously.
Too short.
How dare you? It's 4 whole minutes. Okay, what
Not
if...
enough prom dresses in it.
Or laundromats. If... God, wait a minute.
No, don't make the joke.
You know what I'm going to do. Maybe we don't do the normal thing we do. Maybe we just stick to the short take thing that we always do.
Yeah. Let's just skip that and not talk about...
Uh-oh. Man, I could give you 13 reasons why we shouldn't talk about that.
Quiz?
Let's quiz, baby. I get to ask the questions. Let me explain this quiz really quick. So basically, there's a quiz we do each week where whoever has picked the films answers 3 questions. If they get all 3 of them right, they get an extra question for a bonus point. But if they get all 3 of them wrong, they also get an extra question for a bonus point.
You didn't say what they were.
What do you mean?
What is it if you get all 3 right or all 3 wrong?
Oh, you mean... So it's either a victory lap or a pity point. Wah, wah.
There we go.
That was pretty good though, right?
That was alright, yeah.
I kind of left that stuff out because I think that's the stuff that holds me back when I do it.
Maybe, yeah. Maybe.
I'm trying too hard to get to that bit.
Maybe if we get to the point where you're giving me the question, you'd be like, here's your pity point or here's your victory lap.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Whatever.
We're on episode 18 now.
Okay. In which movie does Robert Langdon wake up in an Italian hospital with amnesia, team up with Dr. Sienna Brooks, and together race across Europe against the clock to foil a deadly global plot? I do not know the answer to that one. And if I don't, you most definitely don't.
No.
Which recent Ken Loach film sees a delivery driver and his care-resistant wife ground down by the gig economy in a ferocious attack on Britain's zero-hour society?
Giga economy.
Gig economy.
Oh, gig economy.
Yeah. Which 2016 epic fantasy film is based on a series of video games and novels set in the world of Azeroth? I know the answer to that.
2016?
Yes. Epic fantasy.
Is it actually epic though?
I don't know.
It's a film.
Yes.
2016. The first one sounds like a spy film.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know the name of it at least? Like looking at the answer, do you recognise the name?
Oh, I do know what this is. I just realised who the person is.
What is it? The character name or is it the actor name?
It's a character name.
What's the name?
In which movie does Robert Langdon wake up in an Italian hospital with amnesia, team up with Dr. Sienna Brooks, and together race across Europe against the clock to foil a deadly global plot?
Langdon.
Robert Langdon. Famous character, roughly.
Mm.
I'd say it's based on a novel.
Yeah.
He's a novel character. From a novel, not that he's a novel.
Yeah, I was going to say.
A famous actor plays him.
Yeah.
I think they only ever made 2 movies. I don't know how many books there are.
2? Oh, they made 2, okay.
I'll tell you it's the second one, if that helps. Actually,
interesting.
Hang on, maybe it's not what I think it is. No, I'm not even sure it is what I think
Robert
it is.
Langdon, okay. Well, my first thought was, so, I don't know how much you know about Jason Bourne, but he has a bunch of different names. And I thought it might be that, but I don't think it actually is, because I think he wakes up in like well, he's on a fishing boat, isn't he? But he lands in like Spain or somewhere like that.
He's in Belgium, I want to say.
Is it Belgium?
Or
Yeah.
like no, maybe it's Berlin. He's in Europe somewhere, but it's not like. Well, I
Yeah.
suppose this is in Europe, but
Yeah,
he doesn't
exactly.
race across Europe.
No, it's not a global threat. It's they're trying to kill him.
Yeah.
My second guess is the Tom Hanks ones, the Da Vinci Code and Angels and Demons, I think it's called, is the second one.
Okay.
I can't think if they made a third one or not, so I'm gonna go with Angels and Demons. I'm gonna go with the Da Vinci Code. I'm gonna go with Angels and Demons.
Okay. Is that your final answer?
Yeah.
It was The Bourne Identity. No, I'm joking. Robert Langdon is the main character from the Da Vinci Code.
Is it not the second
and from
book?
Angels and Demons, but he's also in the film Inferno from 2016, which is the third film from that series. I actually thought there were only two. I forgot about Angels and Demons.
Okay.
But yeah, you were on the right track, so fair enough.
What was the answer?
Inferno.
And it was the third one.
It's the third film, yeah.
Fuck's sake.
2016.
I knew there was a third book, but I wasn't sure if there was a third film.
Yeah.
I was impressed that I got that close.
I'm impressed you got that close, actually, because, like, I don't know if I would have got there in the end.
No?
It was only from seeing the title of the film and then looking at the name again that it, like, clicked in my head.
Yeah, I guess Inferno doesn't really mean anything.
No.
Like the Da Vinci Code, you're like, okay, yeah, that's
The Da
a
Vinci Code. Angels
recognisable.
and Demons.
Yeah, the Da Vinci Code.
Yeah.
Inferno? I don't know.
No. Which recent Ken Loach film sees a delivery driver and his care assistant wife ground down by the gig economy in a ferocious attack on Britain's zero-hours society?
Is this a famous film?
I mean, it's a recent film.
Okay.
I don't think I know anything about it. I'm going to search up while you're guessing.
Interesting. Is it a documentary or no?
No, I don't think so.
Delivery driver. I have no idea. I'm just going to guess the Sound of Metal.
No. It's Sorry We Missed You.
Oh, I vaguely recognise the title. Definitely not seen it.
Oh, no. Ken Loach is obviously a very famous director.
Yeah.
Didn't he do? Did he do Kes? Or was that some? Yeah, he did Kes, which is crazy. That was 1969. How crazy is that? He's still making films. So that's 2 wrong.
Might as well just get the third one wrong, eh?
You might know the third one. That's the annoying thing. Which 2016 epic fantasy film is based on a series of video games and novels set in the world of Azeroth? I think they've kind of. I think the wording of this isn't right.
Yeah.
I would argue it's not a series of video games.
Interesting. They're all standalones. Is that what you're saying? No.
I think there's only one.
Oh. What did you say it was? Video games and books?
Novel set in the world of Azeroth, yeah.
The only thing that's coming
Actually, I
to
guess
mind...
there are other video games now I think about it.
Yeah, I think there's... If it's what I think it is, I think there's loads.
Yeah, technically.
The only thing that is coming to mind is Warhammer.
Okay.
Which I think came out... It was either then, it was like 2018, 2019, so maybe that is a bit too late. I really can't think of anything. Fantasy is such like a weird genre that there's like not many, but they all merge together. And like, you know, like doing a fantasy world where it's like genuinely interesting to watch and like distinguishable from a different fantasy world
Yeah.
is so difficult, and I don't think many people have done it very well.
No.
Azeroth sounds very like ancient and like mighty and stuff, you know.
Yeah. So?
I don't know. I'm just gonna go with Warhammer. I can't think of anything.
No. It's the film Warcraft, based on World of Warcraft.
There was a film?
You don't know about that?
No.
I feel like you might like it. That's why I thought you might know it. It's about the orcs and the humans. A lot of people liked it when it came out.
I think I might be thinking of that.
I think you're thinking of that, but you called it Warhammer.
Yeah.
Which is hilarious.
Warcraft.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Poster
Warcraft.
is
I am. That is the poster I'm thinking of. Oh well. I thought it was Warhammer.
Idiot.
No, I was like, oh, it looks kind of interesting, and then people were like, this is a shit film. I was like, okay, not interested.
Fuck up. Okay. We have a chance for a pity point. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to give me a number between 1 and 3.
1.
Okay, 1 actually corresponds to the second one. Nick Nolte spent weeks wandering the streets of Los Angeles pretending to be homeless in preparation for his role in Down and Out in Beverly Hills. True or false?
True.
That's true.
Yeah.
Get a pity point.
Woohoo!
Yeah, look at that.
1 point.
Tom Selleck was supposed to play Indiana Jones. True or false?
False.
It's true.
Oh.
Idiot. And Gal Gadot, the new Wonder Woman.
Thanks for clearing
Which,
that
by the
up.
way, in 2023, she's not the new Wonder Woman.
No, she is not.
She's been Wonder Woman
Just
since
been fired.
2017. 6 years.
She's also just been fired. So.
Gal Gadot, the new Wonder Woman, served in the Israeli Armed Forces. True or false?
True.
That is true. Bunch of truths in this episode.
Yeah. Well, that's all we got for you this week on this sweaty and ill podcast.
Episode. Ooh wee.
Oh.
Gross.
Thank you everyone for listening.
You're
If
welcome.
you've enjoyed, no, shut up. If you've enjoyed, maybe consider subscribing, leaving a like, and hitting that notification bell so you don't miss an episode.
Bing bong.
What are we commenting this week, Alex?
Comment your favourite character from the World of Warcraft book, Rise of the Lich King.
Have you read it?
No, but I know it exists.
You know it's out there. Someone's read it.
Yeah, let us know your favourite character. And it can't be the Lich King. I know what they're up to.
And it can't be Mr. Warcraft.
No. Not John Warcraft.
John Warcraft. It's like,
We need John Warcraft.
I imagine John Warcraft has like one of those massive swords and then like the really big guns as well that are like way too big.
Even though they don't have those in World of Warcraft.
Oh, do they not?
That's Warhammer.
I don't know, man. He's got one of those like really big rocket launchers that's got like the 4 barrels on the end.
Yeah, that's Warhammer.
No, that's John Warcraft.
No, in Warhammer.
Yeah.
Here I am. Wow. Until next week, you won't hear us,
But we'll
see you. Bye.
Bye.